Coming up on Look Today, the Capital Region is awarded $98.1 million in state economic development money. Plus, the New York State Federation basketball tournament returns to Glens Falls. And Solarized Saratoga celebrates its first installations on Broadway. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone and happy Friday. I'm J. Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. Well, in tonight's program, we interview Karen Score from Yoga Mandalay about the history and impact of yoga. And we also interview General Manager Jeff Mead of the Glens Falls Civic Center to see what the center has in store. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties for the weekend. But first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, as we reported yesterday, the Capital Region was not selected to receive any of the $1.5 billion in the Upstate Revitalization Initiative. However, they did get a larger piece of the state economic development money than they have in the past. Now, the revitalization competition, dubbed the Hunger Games, kicked off in January with 7 regions vying for a piece of the pie. Many, including the Capital Region, investing millions of dollars to hire consultants or special committees to draft their proposals. Well, 3 regions ultimately came out on top, and the North Country wasn't one of them. Central New York, the Finger Lakes, and the Southern Tier were each awarded $500 million. Now, the winners were announced yesterday morning in Albany. Now, New York, 10 regional councils were also competing for $750 million in state economic development money. Now, in the past, the Capital Region has won the least amount of any other upstate region. Well, this year, they will receive $98.1 million. This is the 3rd largest amount. So how will the region use those funds? Well, plans for Warren County include money for the Lake George Music Festival and the towns of Bolton, Lake George, and Queensbury, with the largest amount going to the Warren County First Wilderness Heritage Corridor. Well, in Washington County, $1 million will go toward relocating sewer and storm water lines in Fort Edward. Several other Washington County villages will also receive some money. In Saratoga, the funds will be divided between the Saratoga Rowing Association, Universal Preservation Hall, and the towns of Corinth and Stillwater. Well, one other note on that, by the way. I've been playing phone tag with Ed Bartholomew, the economic developer, head of economic development for Warren County. And we're going to have Ed on next week so we can get into a lot more detail about these funds. We'll change it from news to weather. The mild temperatures continued yesterday, but will they stick around for the weekend? Well, for the latest, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. And back to the news. Well, after a scare when the Athletic Association staff voted against Glens Falls to keep the State Federation boys and girls basketball tournament, the city announced yesterday that they have been awarded the tournament for 2017, 18, and 19. Now, this will be Glens Falls' 29th year, actually might be the 30th, hosting the prestigious championships. Economically, the tournament means upward of 23 teams staying in local hotels, shopping, and eating in local restaurants for that long weekend. Well, tournament director Doug Kenyon is ecstatic to have the tournament back in Glens Falls. He says the quality of the basketball event is second to none. Well, in other news, Solarized Saratoga celebrated the installation of a new solar panel system in downtown Saratoga. The Saratoga County Chamber of Commerce held a ceremonial ribbon cutting yesterday to celebrate the first completed installations. Solarized Saratoga is a volunteer-based campaign supported by both Saratoga and New York State to make it easier and more affordable for households and small businesses to go solar. Well, in Saratoga, solar power means more than just warmth. The money saved by the businesses allows them to reinvest in their properties in other ways. And many buildings in the city, by the way, are 100 to 150 years old, and require ongoing improvements. Well, the first panels are located right on Broadway. Finally, Warren County is delaying its decision on funding a new college building. The county's Board of Supervisors is still undecided about whether the county can afford to pay for its share of a new SUNY Adirondack Science and Technology building. The Finance Committee did not vote on the $17 million project earlier this week, saying they needed more time to review before committing to their $5.7 million share. Now, some supervisors feel other projects, such as road repair, should take priority. Others felt that taxpayers in smaller towns might not be able to afford the additional spending. Well, a vote by the full Board of Supervisors is expected at the December 18th meeting, and we will be there. Still to come, an interview with Karen Score from Yoga Mandalay, where she goes in depth about the history and tradition of yoga. And there's an interesting tie-in to Solarize Saratoga. Plus, we'll speak to the general manager of the Glens Falls Civic Center, Jeff Mead, about the return of the New York State Federation basketball tournament this year. First, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, or join us for an interview, please give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000.